Hello, welcome to the Lululoves Crochet podcast, episode 24. My name is Emma and this is my crochet podcast where I talk about crochet, obviously, crafts, books, TV and anything else I've been enjoying. I hope you're all well. We've had a busy few weeks. I just feel like life is just flying by at the moment, but we had half term, the children were all home for a week, and I was working through most of it, but we did manage to take ourselves off camping. We went and stayed down at the Doon Valley, the Lorna Doone Valley in Exmoor, and that was so beautiful. Just lovely walks, and we were right by a little babbling stream. So it was just so nice just to take a few days, although I think I came back more tired than before I left, but the children really enjoyed it, so we did that. What else have we been doing? Lulu and I did a couple of car boot sales. So we did one on Saturday morning and the Sunday morning, the weekend before. It was good fun, and we did manage to get rid of a lot of stuff, but I'm not very good with early mornings, so but we did it. So she's in her element when she's selling, and she just loves playing shop or anything like that, so we did that. It was a really strange week. It has been really full of really high emotions. My beautiful nan, very sadly passed away in the half term as well. She had a stroke back in February and was in hospital for a month. And my mum and the NHS, managed to get her back home so that my mum and granddad could take care of her. So yeah, sadly she passed away. So that was quite hard. And then we had some very good news. So it's been a really sort of one of those weeks, really. Yeah, I think it's been hard on my mum and my granddad, obviously, because for the past few months they've been caring for her 24/7. So I think they're feeling her absence very strongly in the house. So yes, it's just I'm still busy with work, so I don't have any finished projects to show you. I was going to put off podcasting until I had some, but I think we'd just be waiting all year if I wait for that. So I thought I'd pop in. I've got a few books and a few works in progress to share with you. So I thought I'd just stop in and have a chat with you. And see how you all are. I hope you've enjoyed your half term, if you've had half term, and that you're getting some summer. The weather's here has been sort of up and down, really, but anyway, I'll get on. I did bring my blanket up to show you. I won't be able to get it all in because I've folded it up there. I did finish it. I don't know, I think I told you I finished it, but I didn't show it on the podcast. But here she is. She's beautiful, and I've noticed one square where the ends haven't been sewn in. That's typical, isn't it? So I've put a little edging on that. I just kept it nice and simple and used the leftover yarn, really. I did not want to buy any more yarn. So I've just done a couple of rows of granny and then some shells. So she's really lovely. She's really heavy. She's not quite double. I mean, she does go over the double bed, but she doesn't hang over the edge, if you know what I mean. But we've got her down on the sofa. My children and me, we love just snuggling up under blankets on the sofa. So she's done that. She's really heavy, and it was really quite tough going putting the border on because I used that chunky yarn. I bought the label up here. It's King Cole Magnum, excuse me, Magnum Chunky. I will do a blog post. When I get a moment, I will do a blog post about the yarns I used and how much I used, because I keep getting a lot of messages on Instagram about it. So when I get a moment, I'll put all the details on there if anyone's interested. And it's very simple. Oh, so that's that. Let's put that over there. Sort myself out. Excuse my damp hair as well. My hair takes so long to dry, and I cannot so much as look at a hairdryer without it getting frizzy. So I just leave it to do its thing. What else was I working on? I showed you the sunburst grannies that I'd been working on, and I wanted to make pillowcases. And I think I'd started joining them and I wasn't happy with the join. So I just added an extra round to them all and then joined them as I go. So I've done one side. So there we go. And you can see I've just done the basic join as you go. I just prefer that for some reason. I don't know why. I think maybe I'm just stuck in old habits, but I just like the way it looks, and it's so easy, you know. So I've done that. So I've got one side of the pillowcase. I think I'll do the back exactly the same because I just really enjoy making these little squares. And it's so soft. It was a drops yarn, wasn't it? I think it's nope. It's gone. I'll put all the details in the show notes because I can't for the life of me remember what that was. But I've got a load more squares that need sort of an extra round making and joining up. So I've been enjoying that, and like I said before, I think the reason it's taking me so long to finish anything at the moment is not, I mean, I'm busy, but also I've got a lot of projects on. I feel like I started too many works in progress really, and none of them are really progressing. So I think I'm going to have to be on a self-imposed ban not to start any more projects. It was really hard because I don't know about you, but I get so excited about a new project. I start it, I work on it for an evening, and then I think, oh, I love that, and then I get the guilt, you know, so then I'll work a bit on another project, and then the next day another project. So I'm still working on the Calf Weber t-shirt. I've just about finished the first panel of that. And what else was I working on last time that I showed you? The socks, my Easter socks, which at this rate will be Christmas socks. What else have I got on the go? The pillowcase. Well, I can't even think now. I've got another couple here up. I'll just go through and show you. Oh, I forgot the, oh, that doesn't matter. So I'll show you this as well. These are some more squares, funnily enough. I just love working on the squares at the moment. They're just, you know, I can work one up in an evening. I feel like I've achieved something. I do recall not long ago, actually probably when I first started podcasting, so it was probably over a year ago, that I started a square a week project and I was going to make a big blanket. I think I managed that for about 9 weeks and then moved on. So I'm reluctant to say that I'm making another blanket, but I really want another blanket. So these squares are from a book, and I've not brought the book up with me. The book's called Granny Square Flair, and it's by Shelley Husband. It's a beautiful book, and I don't know exactly how many squares she's got in it, but they all sort of work up around the same size, you know, just with a little bit of blocking. So you can go in and out, you can pick any square and do any project. I think the book's got a few suggested projects at the end, and one of them is one of those heirloom blankets, and it's all made of different, you know, each of the squares that she's got in the book It looks so beautiful. I really want it, but I don't know if I'll finish it. Initially, I was just going to make enough to make a bag. I really liked the bag that Sandra Cherry Heart had made. Like a little boho bag made out of cotton yarn. So I was thinking maybe I could do something like that, but I might hold off and see if I can manage blanket. Anyway, here's one of the squares. Here's the first one. Oh, that's so beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. I'm just in love with them. I think especially this time of year, anything in that sort of white or cream cotton, I just adore. I mean, I adore it all year round, but particularly in the summer. I just love to see crochet in the summer. Here's another one. And again, so beautiful. This one's got raised popcorn stitches, look. I love that. And because the squares are so interesting, they've all got different, so this one's got some, you know, raised front post stitches, some clusters. This one's got some popcorns. You sort of feel like after each square, you've accomplished a mini project. So I'm trying really hard not to just make the really, really pretty squares. So for each really pretty square that I make, I'm trying to make one of the more plainer squares so that whatever project I end up with will be quite balanced. So here's another one of the more simple squares. Again, these all need a bit of blocking out, but I'm not going to worry about that too much yet. And then the last one I've done, and this one, I feel like this one feels a bit smaller than the others, but I think because it's more lacy, so it probably just needs a bit more blocking. And there's the last one. So that one's really pretty as well. So I'm just going to keep working away at them really and see how many I can make before I get bored or I've realised I've moved on completely. In which case I will definitely make something with them. Maybe not the blanket, but I would really like that blanket. So we'll see. Oh, do you like I've got my Sweet Williams today. I thought we could all get some joy from them. I love Sweet Williams. They remind me of my wedding for some reason. I think I must have had them on the tables in the garden. Yeah, they just cheered me up. So, and Sweet Williams are always so inexpensive. What else have we got here? I should have brought my hook up because I'm going to lose my place. Just a minute. Let's try and put that in like that. I've dropped a few stitches. This is a pattern that I've been what was I going to say? My mind. This is a pattern that I've been lusting after on Instagram. It's by Lottie and Albert, and it is her. I think it's called the Leopard Print Loopy Clutch or Bag or something like that. So Lindsay just released the pattern. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago maybe, and she had a really good offer on. I think it was about £2 if you bought it in the first 24 hours. So I went over and bought it, and I thought I will save it for when I've got more time, but I couldn't help myself. I just had to start because it's tapestry crochet, and I'm not very good with tapestry crochet. I don't mind doing the crochet. I just find everything gets all knotted and I get frustrated. So but I really wanted to have a go, so I started, and actually it's not looking too bad considering I don't do it very often. Let me see if I can bring this over without pulling out any stitches. There we go. I feel like the colours that I used, I feel like this kind of tan colour is a little bit too subtle maybe for the pattern. The sun's just come out as well, so it's making it even more washed out. But it's lovely. I'm not doing too badly. I can see the purple a bit more than I probably like to. Is that the front or the back? I think that is the front. Anyway, I started it. I spent an evening working it up. Loved it, but I've not had time to go back to it. But I really want to get that finished because I actually think I'd get quite a lot of use out of a little clutch bag like that. So I'll link the pattern and everything else in the show notes. I'll try and get those up. So yes, I'm working on that. So that's another one that needs finished. I don't think that will take too long, to be honest with you, if I can just sit down and get on with it. And then I brought this up to show you. I actually had finished this last time, but I didn't get around to sharing it. This is just a little stuffed ice cream. I made this for Lulu's toy kitchen. She likes to play shops sometimes still. It's actually from a bunting pattern. It was in I think it was last month's issue of Inside Crochet. It was the same issue that the top from Cath Weber was in. And the pattern had a load of these made as bunting, which I think looked really lovely. And again, if I had the time, I would definitely try and do something like that for Lulu's room because they just really effective, I think. So I don't often make amigurumi or anything like that really, but every now and then I'll do just a little something for Lulu if she sees it. So that was really cute. So again, it was like I said, for a bunting pattern, but I mean, I just made one and I think they're just perfect for toy kitchens and things like that. And I think that's about the last thing. Oh, I did bring this up to show you actually. When I was in the car on the way, I didn't do any crochet when we were camping. I was worried about taking the projects that I was working on because they're work projects, and I was worried that they might get dirty or smelly, you know, from the campfires. So I didn't take any projects to work on, but I did take some yarn, and just in case I wanted to have play. And I did manage to do something on the way up, but I worked on this. This is the Jacob's ladder stitch. I've never done this before. I really like the effect. I do feel I found a YouTube tutorial, so I already sort of had the pattern in my head before we went off. I do feel that it's more effective with brighter colours. Yeah, I just feel you get more of a sense of that staggering. But when I put this on Facebook, one of the ladies replied, because, you know, I was unsure of how people use this stitch. I mean, I have seen blankets made with it, but a lady had made several blankets, and one of them she'd made in, it was all sort of greens with I think maybe a white, and it was sort of ombre effect, and that, it was so beautiful. It was really lovely. So I think maybe I didn't pick the right colours to show that off, but I just really wanted to have a go. I think that would be a really nice one to use. I'm going to have to think about how I can use that in a pattern, because it's so fun, and it's so simple as well, you know, and very satisfying at the end when you just sort of loop you loop all those stitches through one another. So yeah, let me know if you've tried that, and you know, if so, what have you used it on? Someone on Instagram also said that I think there's a Sarah London pillow or cushion using this, and she always uses really bright colours as well, so I should imagine that's nice to look at. So I'll pop the link to the tutorial that I used in the show notes. And I think that's about it for crochet, I'm afraid. Oh, I will just show you actually the lovely Catherine from the Bed of Roses. I think did I show you the bag that I'd bought and the stitch markers in the last podcast? I'm pretty certain I did. I think it was the last one. Anyway, she got in touch and we were talking over Instagram, and she got in touch and she offered to send me one of her stitch marker necklaces, and I was so incredibly touched because I've been eyeing these up for ages, and I was going to put one on my birthday wish list. So, and she also offered to send one to be used for a giveaway. So I just can't get over how sweet she is. Anyway, so my necklace finally arrived, my stitch marker necklace, and she's called this the Emma necklace. So she's so sweet. She asked me what sort of things I liked, and actually let's try and turn that around a bit. So I've got lovely heart. I think that one's my favourite. I'm not doing a very good job of showing you this, am I? See if I can get a bit closer. There we go. Look at those, that lovely vintage flower, and then my name, the heart, some leaves, and all those lovely gemstones. And then there's some stitch keepers there, all on a ring. And these all come off individually to the little hearts. She did a couple of little hearts because obviously I love hearts. Yeah, so we've got that flower, some leaves, and this one's my favourite actually. Oh, they're just so beautiful. So you can use these as necklaces. They come with the leather strap, or you can take them off, and this is actually like a keyring fob, so you can remove some of the necklace and keep it, you know, with your keys or on your project bags. Just got a little fastener. So that, she's just so incredibly sweet and generous, and her work, just so much care and attention goes into it. Anyway, it came just as beautifully packaged as the last items look. My name, this lovely paper. And she made a second necklace for me to give away. Now I haven't unwrapped this at all. So the pouch with the necklace is in here because I thought whoever wins it, you know, that's going to be lovely for them to open that. The necklace is exactly the same, but obviously instead of the Emma, I think it's got something like knit or knit love or something like that. I'll put all the details. You can't really see that, can you? So I'm going to be doing a giveaway for the necklace over on Instagram because I don't think Catherine's on YouTube yet. So. And I will probably post that giveaway this Friday, and it will probably be open for a week. So if you are interested in owning one of your own stitch marker necklaces, then hop over to my Instagram and have a look. I'll see if I can put some sort of notice on YouTube when the giveaway goes up. I don't know if you can do that or not. I'll have a look into it anyway. I'm talking too fast and it's because the camera's flashing at me. It's stressing me out. Just a minute, I'm going to restart. Okay. So I've calmed down. Okay, so that's the giveaway. Yeah, or go and have a look at her Instagram. It's just so beautiful. And that's all I've got for yarny, crafty stuff. I'll talk about some books that I've been reading. I think I mentioned this one in the last podcast. I just started it. This is The Witches of New York by Amy McKay. I really enjoyed this. I just really enjoyed her writing. I felt like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. It was not a fast-paced story, and most of the action I felt happened in the last 150 pages. It's quite a big one. It's you're looking at over 500 pages. So yes, but I just really enjoyed it. So I looked into some more of her books. I think I told you what that was about in the podcast. It's set in 1880 New York, and it's about 3 women with magical gifts, really. And yeah, they own a tea shop. It's just the relationship between the 3 of them is just beautiful. So I looked up some more of her books, and I found this one. I managed to get it on eBay. It's called The Birth House, and this is also by Emma McKay. And I'll read you the back. It says, an arresting portrait of the struggles that women faced for control of their own bodies. The Birth House is a story of Dora Rare, the first daughter in 5 generations of Rares. As an apprentice to the outspoken midwife, Miss Badenow, Dora learns to assist the women of an isolated Nova Scotian village through infertility, difficult labours, breech births, unwanted pregnancies, and unfulfilling sex lives. During the turbulent World War I era, uncertainty and upheaval accompanied the arrival of a brash new medical doctor and his promises of progress and fast, painless childbirth. In a clash between tradition and science, Dora finds herself fighting to protect the rights of women as well as the wisdom that has been put into her care. This was her first novel, apparently. I just really liked the sound of it, and I knew that I enjoyed her style of writing. So I haven't started this yet, but I managed to get a second-hand copy on eBay. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. And it sounds, you know, I like reading about women's history. So childbirth, all sorts of things like that. I just really enjoy. So the book I'm reading at the moment, and again, I'm not too far into this one, I only started it a couple of evenings ago, is called The Doll Factory by Elizabeth McNeil. Here we go. It says, an intoxicating story about a woman who aspires to be an artist and the man whose obsession may destroy her world forever. This one is a thriller, and it's set in the early 19th century. I think it's set around the time of the Great Exhibition in London, which was Prince Albert, so Victoria's husband's big exhibition that he put on to show off all the new technologies and industrial advances that were being made at the time. So it's sort of set as the Crystal Palace is being built up in around London, and it's about, so far, it's about a set of twins, girls. One of them is slightly disfigured and has been since birth in her collar, around her collarbone. And the other sister, who was generally the prettier and, you know, favoured sister, got smallpox as a teenager, just as she was about to be married, and it left her blind and sort of disfigured. So they are now both apprenticed to a doll maker, and they paint all the details on the dolls. And alongside that, there is a man who, it does seem quite strange, not because he's a taxidermist, but because he seems to take delight in the stuffing of unusual objects. So like a puppy with 2 heads, that sort of thing. And I'm at the point where he's just caught a glimpse of one of the girls. And you know, there's something going on, because he keeps referring to his well, I suppose his girlfriend, a girl that he was courting, who just disappeared. So I think he's probably, a bit strange. So I'm really enjoying that. Again, I'm only, I think, about 50 pages in, but already you know, quite a lot's happened, and yeah, I'm enjoying that. So that's that one. And then the last book, and this is another one that I haven't started yet, but it's just arrived, so I'm going to share it with you quickly, is called The City of Girls, and this is by Elizabeth Gilbert. So Elizabeth Gilbert wrote, was it Eat, Pray, Love? And she also wrote Big Magic, which is, you know, another book that I enjoyed. So this is her newest one. It's set in the summer of 1940. It's about a 19-year-old girl who arrives in New York with her suitcase and sewing machine. So it seems like she gets a job in a playhouse where she's making costumes and that for the girls. So yeah, it just seems like women's young girls' tale of 1940s New York. So I'm really excited to read that one as well. And that's it for books. I've got a few there to keep me going. So let me know if you've read anything good. You know, I love book recommendations. So and what else have I been enjoying? Oh, we've been watching this week. It's been on every night this week. I think the documentary was called Up, but this is 63 and up. So it's the documentary that was started, I think, in 1964, and they had a group of 14 children, age 7. And they asked them about their hopes and their dreams, and they all came from different sort of social backgrounds. And then the filmmaker goes back every 7 years to see how they're getting on, you know, what their lives have been like. So that's been airing every 7 years, and they're now, you know, all in their 63rd year. So that's been really interesting. It's been on, I think, an hour every night, and you know, each episode they take you through, I think, about four or five of their lives. And I do remember watching it 7 years ago, but I don't remember much before that. But the nice thing about it is, you know, they put it all in context for you. So they, you know, when they're talking about a particular person, they flash right back to what they were saying at 7 and 14, and it's just very interesting. And you do get a sense of, you know, that they're really a product of the generation that they were born into. You know, a lot of the women were married by the time they were 20, even though they were working, and, you know, it's just really interesting. Yeah, and I think sadly one of the ladies had actually just passed away. But it's so lovely just to see their life stories, really, and I think also it's typical of the fact that you just can't plan life, can you? You've just got to live it and hope for the best. So yeah, Rob and I have been really enjoying that. And the other things I've been watching some light-hearted telly, some frivolous telly. I just haven't felt like watching anything too deep, really. So I've been watching Schitt's Creek on Netflix, which is just the funniest show about a family that lose their fortune and end up living in this town that they own called Schitt's Creek. And it's got, I can't remember his name. Is it Daniel Levy? He was the father in the American Pie movies. And it's got his son Eugene Levy in, is it Levy or Levi? I think it's Levy. His son in real life is in it as well. And yeah, it's about the relationships they make, you know, and how they're always desperate to try and get out of this town. But actually they end up living really meaningful lives, even though none of them will own up to it. I think there's about 5 seasons on Netflix, and if you like, you know, that sort of American Pie kind of humour, then it's just very silly and uplifting. So I've been watching that, and the other night I did just start watching, because my daughter told me she'd watched an episode, What If on Netflix, which is the one with Renee Zellweger. That's really good. It starts off with a kind of proposition, a bit like there was a film, I don't know if it was in the 80s or 90s, with Demi Moore and Robert Redford, you know, where he, did it have Woody Harrelson in it, where he was this sort of millionaire and offered them £1 million if he could spend the night with his wife. It's a bit like that. So she is a big investment funder, and she sort of makes an offer to this woman whose business is in, well, they're looking in ways of curing cancer and things like that. So she's looking for funding for her business, and this woman hears about it, and she basically offers to give her all the funding, like I think millions of pounds, 80 million, for a night with her husband, on the condition that her husband can never reveal what happened in that night. And they both go away and talk about it, and their circumstances, you know, get increasingly desperate, and they go for it. So there's that, but then there's also the relationships of their family and friends, also, you know, in amongst it, and then you get the sense as you go through that actually Renée Zellweger has got a sort of personal interest in this woman. She kind of keeps playing with her life, so you're not really sure where that's going. And she's also quite damaged. She's really, really good in it. So I'm enjoying that so far. And I think that's about it for today. So I hope you're all well, and that you're finding time to do some crochet or knitting or anything that makes you happy, really. And I will be back again, hopefully in a couple of weeks, with another podcast. So take care. Bye.